All right, Sam, you just did something big. Why don't we you're smiling, which is a good thing, always a good way to start a conversation.
Oh yeah.
What just happened? What did you just accomplish? Lay it on me. Come on, man.
Somehow I just got my PMP. I honestly can't believe it. It was a long time coming. A lot of roadblocks I had to get over, but I really can't believe it's over. And I'm so glad, and I can move on
All
finally.
right. That's awesome, dude. How does it feel? Like I know you had a lot of roadblocks, a long way here. We met recently. Like, how are you feeling now?
A lot of stress is gone. There's a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders. I just feel incredible.
That's awesome, dude. All right. So I know that you went through the accelerator, you went through things. We're going to talk about that, but kind of like give us a little understanding. You feel good now. You feel like this weight's off. As you were studying, how long did you spend studying? And like, what's your basic process? Like, what were you feeling like? What did you do? Was it, you know,
Yes. So I'd be working throughout the day, and then as soon as my day finished at work, I'd just be on your e-course and the accelerator like throughout the evening, just taking as many notes as I can and just trying to follow the right process that you guys laid out,
yeah.
and just trying to follow the advice that you guys have. And as long as you follow that, you'll be successful. And that's what happened to me.
That's cool, man. All right. So, like, as you went into it, like, how did you know you were ready? Like, what were you going through? What was big for you? How did you know in your mind that like you could do it?
Well, working with your coaches, they really like set a plan for me, and they gave me some really good feedback, and they're really evaluating how I was doing, and I was using your simulator a lot, and that was giving me some good results. And once I was getting constant results above 80,
Mhm.
I could tell I was ready, and that's kind of how I knew I was ready to go.
That's cool. So like, what was the exam like for you? Like, how did it? Were you nervous when you went in there? Were you confident? Was it
I
easy
was
breezy, or how did it go?
I was really, really nervous because I did not. My biggest issue was I didn't expect what the user experience would be like.
Okay,
Uh,
talk us through that.
yeah, so the whiteboard, I didn't know how that was going to work. It was kind of like if PMI went back in time and got like the first iteration of MS Paint,
Yeah, there
right?
you go.
It was a little difficult to use, but once got over that and I got in a flow and I got past the first 20 questions or so, then I was feeling good. I was a little behind time, took
Mhm.
my break, and I just kind of just took a breath and then kept going. And at the very end, I really wasn't sure. I was like, I think I did okay. And then I just let the time run out. I actually only had 10 minutes left at the end of the exam. So I let the
Interesting.
time run out. I sat back and watched, and then it just said congratulations. And I was like, amazing. I can't believe it.
That's awesome. What are you gonna do with all this free time now that you have?
A lot of Netflix.
Not on Netflix. You got a
Got
lot
a
of
lot of
catching
catching
up.
up
I
to
don't know
do.
if you know the Tiger King or whatever it is. I never watched that, but you got to catch up on all these things that
Oh,
passed you
geez.
by.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool. So I'm really proud of you. You did a great job. I was pumped yesterday when you gave me a text or a call and told me about it. So it was fun.
Yeah, yeah.
So talk me through kind of like accelerator in a sense. Like, do you think you would have passed the exam without the accelerator or the e-course kind of thing? Like, how do you think you would have done without those things?
I'm not sure because the accelerator really puts you on another level. Like I was going through the e-course for the past few months, and then I got on the accelerator, and then it immediately just bumped me right to the next level because I was
Nice.
looking at my test scores over the past few months, and then as soon as I got on the accelerator, boom, they came right up,
Beautiful.
and that's like immediate results. It was amazing.
Right. So what about the accelerator? I'm interested because I know like you were in there, you were grinding, you were doing stuff, and then you said you went in there, it popped right up.
Yeah,
What about the accelerator helped?
it's the key flows. It's the how you're making EVM a lot more easy,
Mhm.
and hearing feedback from the other participants as well, the people that are working on that are going through the same thing you're going through, right?
Nice.
And having that feedback with the coaches and learning how to answer questions properly. That's
Nice.
really what got me going.
Oh, that's cool. So when you're talking about the feedback from other students, you talking about people live in the chat, or are you talking about
Yeah,
that? Okay, that part of it.
there,
What about
it's
that
funny,
helped?
like the chat really helps, especially like if you see conversations going on and all of a sudden you'll see someone will make a point about something that you might be struggling on, and all of a sudden it just clicks, and then you have people there to support you as well, and your coaches we get on the live coaching calls with them, and you're answering questions, and they're pointing out things that you need to work on. That's really what helped me most.
That's awesome. So who was your coach?
I had Salvador.
Salvador. All right.
Yeah,
So cool. So that's noon times in Spain or whatever, or noon times here or Spain, wherever. I don't know what time it is in Spain. How did that go? What did you guys do when you jumped on these calls?
Well, we went through questions together. We went through problem solving questions. He just walked us through the best way to read the question and look for certain things in there that help you answer it correctly, because sometimes you can get tripped up with certain words, and you just really got to find the right words that help you get to the right answer.
That's awesome. That's cool. And so you're in there. How many people were in your calls?
There's about 4 or 5 of us. It wasn't too big. It was actually really nice.
Yeah, nice little small group. That's how I designed them, like max 6-ish.
Oh, that's
because
perfect.
we wanted you guys to like have enough time to walk through questions, get a little. It feels like kind of like you have like a little team going, because it's like 4, 5, 6.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to be excited because you passed, and the next one, momentum wise, will get going. So
exactly, we'd help each other out on questions too. Like if we got something wrong, we just kind of talk back and forth and understand why we got it wrong, and then that just helps us moving forward.
Yeah, too much. I think like as we're thinking about how to teach and how to improve, like the masterclass was great. I loved how I created that, but this one is like so much better. I think we're breaking down things where it's like, hey, I'm going to teach it at a different level and frame it up. And then to get those cycles of improvement going, whether it's the chat, whether it's the little calls with you and the team, or the calls with me and Sandy and such, like, those have been super, super effective to cut down the time. Was there anything, I know you talked about some things, was there something that really made the lights come on? Like one video, I know you hinted on a couple of them. What was one of those videos that really helped you out?
I think it was the key flows. That's something I was really looking forward to, because I wanted to really understand and make sure I wasn't missing a key flow. And that really just opened up, like we talk about the process groups being like a map of the world, and that really just made those connections make sense.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, and it's just like, I think as we went down to it, the accelerator doesn't go into ITO. Like I don't do any. I looked back on it and I was like, dude, I haven't taught a single ITO except for structure of ITOs and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Do you think you like missed out? Because some people are like, you mean you don't go into any ITO? Like, how do I learn the PMP? Like,
no, you don't need to. As long as you just understand what the process is trying to achieve, and what that process and how that process interacts with other processes, then you're good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's cool. Like as you move through, what was the, like, I'm trying to think through how to ask the question, but did you see other people pass? Like, did it encourage you? Like, did you see others as they went through? Did you have visibility to that, or not?
Yeah. So really what was a huge motivator is your podcast. Actually, I listened back a lot of the people that you interview, and I hear their success stories, and then they're like other podcasts like specific to certain subjects. That was a huge motivator for me, and that really kept me going. And I always just like throw that on if I had some free time, like even back before this COVID thing, like when I was commuting to work, I just have it on the radio, and it was something that just kept me going through the whole process.
Well, dude, I think you're going to be episode 93 or 94. So there you go. Not to put pressure on you or anything like that.
Right.
Yeah. But, and then when you just talked about it, I'm going to do, I just got an idea for another podcast. It's more content related. So you just gave me that one. I won't give you the title, but it might go before or after you. You'll just know you are the inspiration for it.
All right.
So that's awesome. So when you go through the PMP, do you think that learning and going through these processes, has it made any impact on your normal work life, kind of like the way you're going to do business going forward?
For sure. I see there's going to be immediate impact on my work. Like it's going to make me such a better project manager, and it's going to be a lot better for my team as well.
Okay, cool. What specific things are you, like, if this is a podcast, right? And like people are out there, what kind of things are you going to take back to the team, to yourself, that you think they could also potentially?
I think like stakeholder engagement for sure, and quality as well. I think those two are really important, and I'm definitely going to be upping my game in those areas for sure.
That's cool. Were there areas in the content as we go? I try to like get these interviews. It's awesome to say like, how do you feel and how did you do and all this stuff like that. I think people need to hear that side of it because it is a giant relief. I hear it in your voice,
Yeah.
like, like that you got through, that you actually did it. So I think that's important. But in addition, like, were there places like content areas where going into the PMP, you weren't comfortable or you weren't familiar with? Were there certain areas where you didn't have that competency going in?
Um, I think I could have looked a little bit more into risk and procurement. I think if I studied a little bit more there, I would have been I might have had a higher score on the exam, but I think I had just enough.
Okay.
So I think if I would have focused more in those areas, then I would have been a little bit more confident.
Yeah. If you only had a day or an hour to study, I'm just going to ask this right now. Now that you said the focus areas, are there big chunk? We don't want to do this, guys out there listening. Don't study for an hour. Like, but if you had to, and you're saying like, this is a valuable area where I want to understand something that will pay dividends on the exam and in life and all that stuff. Is there an area where you think would be valuable to study and focus?
Risk, quality, procurement, stakeholder. Those are heavy on the exam.
Oh, nice, man. And then what's the best way to get a feel for those? Is it a flow thing? Is it, how did you get a feel for those kind of areas?
It's more, yeah, like you're right. It's more of a flow and just really diving deep into really what they're about and understanding, like even in the procurement, I was a little slow on the contracts, on understanding those, but I got enough to get through the exam on those. But I think I could have focused a little bit more on the contract portion of procurement. But other than that, I tried to put more focus on risk and quality because I've heard other people talking about those being a pretty heavy topic.
Okay. Yeah. And then you didn't memorize anything. You just kind of
No,
went down and yeah.
no, I'm so glad I didn't try to memorize anything. I didn't have any data dump or anything like that. I put your EVM template into the whiteboard once, and I might have referenced it once. I feel like if I had a data dump, I would have wasted so much time. If I was trying to just throw in just whatever information I can, I would have wasted a lot of time. I probably would have ran out of time.
Nice. Well, that's good to hear, man. I love like you leaned in. I don't know if everybody's listening to this, you leaned into the screen when you're like, no, I didn't do a data dump. Like it's like, if anyone's out there that's like on the fence and they're like, I know that, Sam said not to do a data dump and Scott's been screaming it forever, but I'm still going to do it because of blah, blah, blah. What would you tell them as far as like to do or not do a data dump in Sam's word? What would you tell them?
Just don't do it. You're wasting your time. Like, especially at the end, like when I saw just 10 minutes left and that's all the time I had left to review what I've marked off. I'm just like, good. I'm so glad I didn't try to create some sort of data dump. That would have just been pointless.
Yeah, pointless waste time. That's awesome. All right, man. So we've covered like, the way in which you got here, how you feel now, like kind of the weight off your shoulders and the fact that you didn't memorize anything. I'm just recounting everything that I've learned. And then like, the big areas that you focus on. I like how you just crank those out. Those are big areas, right? Now, if there's somebody out there that's kind of like you, younger guy, I mean, I don't know, we're probably the same age. Like, I think we're relatively younger. Like, and they're out there, professional, working, wants to get their PMP, maybe a little bit wrapped around the axle and slow and like scared they're not going to pass or think it's going to take a long time. If they're kind of like you and me when we were sitting out there taking them, what would you say to those guys out there that are like us to get them to where you are now? What would you say?
I say just get on the accelerator as soon as you can, and that's gonna put you in like on the path to success right away. It's just amazing. Like I'm just like a lot of other people that did the boot camps, and it was just it completely like took all the motivation away, and I just didn't know what to do, and all of a sudden I came across your podcast and I got on board, and that's how I am here today.
That's awesome, dude. All right, cool. Now let's like rewind. Let's like just play the game back. Like if we rewound the clock and you didn't take the boot, I'm genuinely interested in this question. Like if you went back, you didn't take the boot camps, the shitty bad boot camps or whatever, you didn't spend the time, whatever. If you had just started with the accelerator, do you think you would have passed?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, without a doubt. Without a
Okay.
doubt. Yeah.
Why do you think you would have passed?
Just because you make it makes sense. It's very, and you prove to everyone that it is logical. It does make sense. And just seeing how everything connects together. It's like a light bulb turns on in your brain. It's like, okay, I get it.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome, man. Well, I don't want to turn back the clock. We'll be happy with the above target or whatever we got. And, happy to have you in there, man. We are really, really proud of you going through it and doing so well. I remember seeing you in the calls and talking to you and stuff. So, it's a little bittersweet, as it always is, that like, you got whatever, but we got the job. You got the job done. So that's what we're here to do. So.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Scott. I really appreciate what you did for me here.
That's awesome, dude. Well, we're really proud of you, as we said, and we're going to continue to I'm going to continue to make classes and courses and stuff. And if you got something to teach us, get on and let's teach. So I appreciate it, dude. Thanks a lot, and enjoy the day. Congratulations. Enjoy being in the PMP. So that's awesome.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
See you, man. Bye. Okay, cool. You don't have to jump up. Yeah, just gotta close it. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. I'm really, really happy that you did so well. So that's really good, dude.
Yeah, I know, man. That was something. Like, even during the exam, I was almost feeling sick.
Just like the nerves or something?
The nerves, yeah. But
that's
like
cool.
The user experience was so bad. Like, that's something, maybe like some feedback for you is maybe let them know exactly what it's going to, maybe if you can let them know what it's going to look like.
You want to do like a 2-second or a 2-minute, like, let's talk about the user experience. Let's not be as negative as possible.
No,
let's just talk about, like, we're not gonna be like, I got to answer these PMI people, but, but if we just go through and just do a short one and go like, hey, you just took the test, talk us through the user experience, like step by step. What do we experience? Like, let's just do it. I'll just pause. Sure. This is how we make fucking content. So let's get.
Yeah.
All right, Sam, you just passed the exam. We want to talk about user experience of the live online. All right, so walk us through step by step. Someone gets in front of the computer. What are they going to experience? Go.
Yeah, so I logged in 30 minutes before my exam was to start. And I refresh the page, and all of a sudden, okay, you can begin your exam. So you go through this check-in process. You have a form of ID. You take a photo of it, front and back. You upload it to them. And then also you take photos of your room, front, back, both sides. That you upload that to them. They'll review it, and then you just move into a waiting room, and all of a sudden the camera's on you and you can't move. It's almost like, oh, I guess I can't go anywhere now. I'm stuck here. It's recording, and it tells you if you move away from the camera, then it could cancel your exam. So I'm like, okay, I'm stuck here now. Yeah. And then a chat pops up. There's a little chat window. The proctor will come on and tell you if you're ready, and then they'll start the exam for you, and then you're into it. So I'm doing the exam, and it's just this big white page, blue bar along the top, and then there's like a little bar that you can move around, and you can click on there for your calculator. You can start a chat with the proctor. You have the whiteboard there. Now the whiteboard, it's kind of like, if anyone remembers what MS Paint is like, that's pretty much what it is. Right. So if you want to practice writing your EVM template, I would practice in MS Paint if you have it or have access. That's a good way to do it. Yeah. And then there's, the clock in the top right-hand corner. But from time to time, the proctors will come on and ask you where you are at in the exam.
Yep.
And then I said, I think I was at like 59 or something. They're like, okay, so we're gonna set your break for question 89. I'm like, okay, so I get to 89, and all of a sudden break time, and you just have to click, okay, take your break, and then 10 minutes. The camera turns off. You can do your thing, use the washroom, come back, and then you're back into it again.
Nice. Now, do you get, so they say, hey, 89 is the question we lock it off on for the break. Do they just automatically throw you into the break, or do you get the opportunity to say, no, I want to go back and look at those questions?
Yes, so you do get to look back at the first set of questions that you did, but that still eats up your time, right? So you have to look back, and then you can take your break.
All right, sweet. So then you say, I confirm, I'm taking my break now, pauses the clock. Otherwise it would just keep rolling. My
Yeah,
assumption
exactly. It could just keep rolling, but you have to make sure you click, yes, I'm taking my break.
Okay, cool. So you go on your break, go to the bathroom, do whatever, go glass of water, sit down again. Do you have to physically go, I want to do this again, or does it
There's
automatically
a
pop in there?
there's a timer that ticks down. As soon as the clock runs out, you're back in the exam. You're answering questions again.
And you got to be there sitting still doing that stuff.
Oh yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
grinding through. Then at the end, when you get down to like, the last of the 4-hour totality, what's the experience like at the end?
Well, you're pretty nervous there at the end. You're trying to get through, and depending on how much time you have left, you actually have to go all the way through until you can go back and review your question. So you have to get right down to the end of question 200, and then the thing will pop up. It says, okay, review questions, and you can go through the list of what you marked off, and see what you can do there. But one other thing I wanted to mention is crossing out questions and things like that. You actually have to highlight the question in order to cross it out. So you have to highlight it and then click cross out. You even have a highlighter. So you can do the same thing, highlight like a couple keywords or something, and then you can use the highlighter. I never use that because I think that took up a few too many precious seconds. So I just really focused on, okay, what are the two questions that best fit this answer, and just pick between those two.
That's awesome, dude. All right. So you said that you can't go back and look at questions until you get all the way to the end. Is that the same thing in the 89 first ones? Got to get to 89 and then go back?
Yeah, but they'll set what question the break is at. So they'll confirm with you, okay, what question are you on? And then they're like, okay, so here's where you'll take your break. So it could be different from person to person, depending on where you're at in time.
Now, overall, you were successful. You passed. You got through it. Yay. Anything that you would advise people to do to make sure that the tech experience, the user experience, is as good as it can possibly be? What would you say to them?
Yeah, make sure you do your network test the day of your exam. Make sure your microphone, your camera, everything is working technology-wise. You have a strong internet connection, and that's really it. Make sure you have your 2 forms of ID. Just have everything prepared as the best you can. Arrive 30 minutes early, go through the check-in process, and then there is a tutorial at the beginning if you want to take it. They don't time that, obviously, but you can choose to take that if you want. It kind of walks you through a couple things, but that's the best way to prepare.
That's cool. And then we've had some people that have some tech issues. It's okay. We've walked them through it. They figured it out. So we created like a PDF that says, in the event that you have a tech issue where it goes like white screen or black screen or blue screen or whatever, and you're thinking it, don't freak out, go A, B, C, D. So
that's great.
I'll try to link that down here. We're trying to get it posted up so that, people can guide through that, because it does happen. But hopefully they have an experience like you, and you go through, and then, all right, the best part, you hit the button, you pass. Balloons go off, fireworks. What happens?
It's just like this white screen, and then it says, congratulations, you're now a part of Project Management Institute. I couldn't believe what I was reading. I just kind of leaned back. I heard someone else mention that they went off camera, and then they didn't know if the test was done or not. So I'm not sure the proctors can actually see your screen or understand what question you're on. I think they're just looking at you and looking at the time.
Right. But it's right there. It says, congratulations. You got to, you read that, and then it's good to go. So
text is a little small. I had to really look at it. It was there.
They make you work for it, but that's good, man. That's really good. I think people are going to learn a lot about how to navigate. So if they get comfortable, maybe it just eases their mind a little bit.
That was my biggest concern going into it, is just I don't know what's going to look like how am I going to navigate through this thing? I was worried that was going to take up time.
That's awesome. Cool. All right. That's good. Sweet. Boom. Nailed it out, dude. Now we got 2 podcasts.
There you go.
I'm going to put that at the end of the accelerator too, to be like, hey, here's what to expect. We'll have someone that had the worst day in the world tech wise, and we'll have someone like you that had an okay day.
Man. Yeah.
So that's cool. With the I'll let you go, but with the accelerator overall, what did you think about? I took some gambles with putting students in there and coaching sessions. Did you find those valuable or what?
Very, those are really important. I think those really help me understand how to properly answer questions and kind of getting an idea of what other people's thought processes are.
Ask you for something else too. Oh shit. We locked up. I might have lost
No,
the internet. We're back.
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, no, those videos were perfect. That's exactly what I needed, because like I like how you go into the first couple of videos that are kind of like a little high level, but it gets you right to the point.
Yeah.
And then you put in like the motivational minute and just like, and then those interactions with other people doing the same thing you're doing. It's I don't know. It's almost like you build like a little community, right? Like everyone's going through the same thing at the same time,
Yeah.
and everyone's sharing the same struggles, and then that kind of keeps you going and keeps you with it.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask for one more piece of content. Like, if you don't ask, you don't get. Like,
yeah, man.
This is it. All right. So there's a lot of women in my course. There's not a lot of dudes. And so I want more dudes in there, just to balance it out. Because people like, maybe they see themselves in us. Is there a place in the course where we could say, like, is there something that you feel, like you want to remind people of as they're moving through the 7 days that we could just do a little thing on and we throw it in there just to like keep them going, or point out something that's important that you thought was important? Anything?
I think.
Yeah, no problem, dude.
I think like what was most important for me was just is seeing how other people were interacting with the questions, because it just kind of made me feel like if I was on the right path or not.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so maybe we do something real quick to say, like, I'll do it like halfway through and be like, hey, you're working through questions. You probably have gone to one of these calls. I just want to talk to Sam. He just passed. He's going to talk about like how he got the most out of the question solving sessions and how he did that. So I should have just said it once.
Yeah.
Now I got to say it again. But all right, guys. So you're about halfway through the course. All right. You're starting to take more and more questions. You're seeing people solve them. You might have gone to a coaching call or two. This is Sam. What's up, Sam? You can say what's up.
What's up, man?
All right. He just passed the PMP exam, and we're going to do he's going to answer and say like how he got the most out, because he went through the same process as you guys, throwing this in the middle, just a little bonus thing where he's going to talk about how he got the most out of these question solving sessions and started to think about how you solve hard questions. So Sam, when you think about how you got the most out of these, how you got really good at question solving, what was it about either the coaching or how you solve problems? What do you want to tell them?
It's really about seeing how other people answer the questions and getting feedback from everyone. And it really helps you understand if you're on the right track. And when we're working questions together, we all get on the same page and common understanding of what is the right way to go about these questions. Like read the last question or sentence first, and then go through the rest of the question, and then strike out 2 answers right away and be as quick as you can, and just go 50-50, and then just go with the best answer. Yeah. And as long as everyone was following the same process and understanding, then that's going to get you more questions right.
Yeah. When you went into these coaching calls, were you nervous? Were you scared? Were you embarrassed, like to miss questions and stuff?
I was a little scared at first. My first one, I was a little scared because I didn't know like if I got something wrong, what would happen. But like we were all learning together, right?
Yeah.
Like if you got something wrong, that's not bad. You're learning. You just learned something new, and that just means you're going to take that away, and you're going to get another question right in the exam.
That's awesome, man. And so like just like as a reaffirming and just like the honest opinion, going through the accelerator, getting deep in the questions, what kind of impact did that have personally for you for like the length of time that your study process took?
Oh, it really shortened it down because because taking a calculated approach to answering the question really brings your time down, and it gives you a good flow, and then you can just cruise right through.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. All right. So that's really good. People know now. They got a little Sam's insight into dive into the question solving, watch the little videos with all the different people, really take advantage of the coaching calls, just to give them a little taste of what they can experience when they get done and they hit that button and say, congratulations. Just tell them kind of like how you feel now after you have passed, so they know what's coming.
Just that weight just comes right off your shoulders. You can finally lean back in your chair and put your feet up. It's great.
All right, cool. All right, Sam. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Everybody else out there, keep rolling. Stay positive. You got this. We'll be here to help you the whole way. So thanks a lot. See ya.
No problem.